Are we ready?
Recording in progress.
Okay, let's call to order the TAPS February meeting at 6 o'clock p.m. JG, and a roll call.
I'm struggling with the view here. It's either you or it's not giving me that owl view. With all of this in there.
Would you like me to drop my video?
Yeah, just for now. Let's see what it does. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Chairman Andrew Bond.
Here.
Vice Chair Susan Chevalier. Here. Second Colin here. Sherry Smith. Here. Liza McKenzie. Here. Brandon Opalka.
Here.
Sue Benson. Here. Chris and Councilmember Neil Shaw.
Here. Thank you. Okay, the agenda is very full. Does anyone have anything they'd like to try to add?
Our business.
I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda, please.
No, you have to make a motion.
I can't do it, apparently.
Motion.
I second it.
Thank you. Do we have anyone online?
We do not.
Public comment? And we'll roll straight into staff updates.
Artwork lighting is something that we've talked about on and off. We know that, some of the public art would require in-ground and electrical lines, things like that, much more expensive. And it's something that is on my radar. Not sure how or when that will happen because it's a big budget. But as far as temporary lighting, Andrew had shared some solar lights that he found on Amazon. And then I ended up buying some others. But we currently have Silencio, which is the piece on Rock Creek Parkway. I have two different types of lights, two different warm and cool, different light. I'm testing. And then I also lit Coyote Hawk. Silencio, I think, is much more receptive to the lights because it's white. It's a column, it's a lot easier. The Coyote Hawk is dark red in color, there's bushes around it. The solar panels aren't getting as much sun, So I'm working on it, doing a lot of testing, but just know that we're working on getting things, lit. They're not gonna be as strongly lit, but at least they're lit.
Bushes are half the problem. They're on the agenda. They're on the radar to get rid of.
Yep, they are. Yeah, I think it'll help quite a bit. And then, and if I need to keep experimenting with different solar lights and lumens and all of that, I go. So, we're kind of on it, we're having fun, so. And you drive by Silencio a lot at night.
I think Silencio is adequate. I mean, I'm surprised that they're not like spotlights. They're not like what's on the triptych. They're solar, but it helps a lot. I mean, you can see it. You can see that it's there. Yeah.
Okay.
Before it was just a shed.
Superior Historical Commission QR code project. Just so everybody's kind of aware, the Historic Commission has it in their work plan to kind of launch a placard and description little card indoors and outdoors for all sorts of things, to help provide more descriptions into locations or objects. And I think they're aware of what CAPS is wanting to do. And so I think there's ample opportunity for collaboration and for whatever the placards, whatever they end up being, to be consistent and, look the same. I think that'll be a nice touch for a lot of, locations throughout town. I don't know if you want to add anything to
Yeah,
that.
not a whole, I mean, yeah, just that we're collaborating. They had it on their agenda about a week ago, their meeting, so they're talking about it. I talk to Dalton all the time. Yeah, so the design, neither design has a lot of substance behind it yet, but we're talking and we're gonna try to make those consistent.
And figuring out a way to potentially add to existing signage, and ways to swap out QR codes in case links are broken, things of that nature. But I think, what would be good is if we have that cross collaboration. I think I've said now to both groups that the arts and history budget would cover that. But I think it'll be exciting to figure out what it ends up looking like and being. So,
There are QR codes that are made that, you can change the links within the software, but the QR code stays the same. So I would suggest making sure that, that's the direction it goes. It's called a dynamic QR code.
Oh, good to know.
And then we're also, there's, you can have them refer to like a URL shortener or something like that too, that you control, right? So we're looking at, the town itself has like a redirect or a short URL or something, because you don't want to have to change something that's in bronze or something, right? Because you.
Yeah,
Good
but
point.
they're trying to figure out how do they add to existing signage, like it's a cemetery or in Husky Park, things like that. Start figuring out ways to do that. I think will be good. And then the neighborhood sponsorship application review policy, I would say more process. The program was launched last year via CAPS. Got everything up and running. We ironed out a lot of kinks, got forms created, things like that. And, I was happy to help with a lot of the intake of proposals and kind of having that back and forth conversation with residents to get their proposals up to where they needed to be to make, because a lot of people were not answering all the questions. Some of it was our fault because it wasn't straightforward on the website, or they maybe didn't understand the question or just decided not to answer. So, but I think the process is streamlined enough now and the forms have been created and the process overall, I think is good. To the point where I think it could be handed back to CAPS to manage. Because I think it would be good for you to not have to wait for me to pass it along. I think for you all to be doing the review and the communication, but copying me so that if they have questions for town staff, I'm there. Yeah, I'm showing no or not. Hey Nancy, I lost internet connection.
Right, for anyone watching or experiencing technical difficulties.
Are you on the meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, so the meeting didn't go,
GAG's computer lost Wi-Fi somehow.
Maybe you want to switch to the public one. That's the one I'm on. Maybe the internal one died.
Okay, we're back. Or at least I'm back. Okay, forget where we left off.
Yeah, so you were gonna forward inverse sponsorship applications to Susan and I, and we will refine, reject, or pass along as needed.
And I usually was saving until about a week prior to a meeting, just so that I could bundle them. Get them out to the group.
But you can feel free to forward them instantly, because if they're now formed, we'll respond and say, hey, this is not complete.
Is there a form letter for incomplete submissions, or do we just write an email?
No, I've been writing and, it seems like every scenario has been unique,
Okay.
but I can share with you everything all the forms and send some responses that we've shared in the past.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause yeah, having some templated
Yeah.
responses might be good.
Dear sir, madam, you failed to complete the. And just as a side note, JD, we need to continue to elevate that with comps.
Yep.
I haven't seen anything.
Not yet, it's in the queue. They are wrapping up, hello, Superior. They've been kind of inundated, and they've been getting things out, but it is in the queue. And then the last thing is the council committee dinner. It's a very long story, but I only have one date for you, unfortunately, and it is June 23rd.
There's nothing we can do to get another date. I can't do it. And I mean, for the chair and the vice chair, not.
Right, so let me get who can attend and I can get back to Michaela.
Is it because we're trying to do it before a certain date?
There were a handful of dates and Michaela shared them with us and they got zapped up really fast. And I don't know how,
Feels like we could do it in August.
Yeah, what did Matt say at the end of?
It says they're gonna start scheduling.
Start scheduling,
Yeah.
he did have a window, I think, but I don't know, it's arbitrary. Probably.
Yeah, it may have just been trying to do it in Q2, but
yeah, well, we had March 10 or June 23 and then March 10 went away. Cause I guess your agenda got really full.
oh, did we next dinner? I didn't know.
Yeah. So then I was like, ooh, one date.
Yeah, so I'm at the beach, I could probably.
And you're out, Susan? What about the rest? Yeah.
I see, because the Superior Pairings the next day is this music dance thing. We might be here, so I can't, anyway, I wanted to leave that for if they wanted to come and do
Yeah.
something or see something.
So I'll go back to Michaela.
Okay,
We can figure out.
that would be awesome.
Okay. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay.
Unless anyone has any questions for me. Anything? Good, okay.
All right, great. So we will go on to some updates. So the Marshall Power Remembrance Subcommittee presented to the council on Monday. I was supposed to do most of that and then had a work trip come up at the very last second. So Dalton stepped in for us, which was fantastic. He did a great job. I think that presentation went pretty well. Council, it seems very
Yeah,
receptive.
great. Yeah.
So I don't, I won't show it here, I don't think, you know, it can be watched on the, town meeting website, but we presented a little bit of background about the subcommittee for new members of the council. We talked about what we expected from them, and then we showed the concept itself that we were advocating for, with some stylized examples, and asked for some money so that we could run the RFQ process and also kind of a soil study to do feasibility, because we're looking, again, what we mentioned last time, but we're looking at the Orland Road trailhead kind of embankment behind the rings is the location. So we want to make sure it's even physically possible to build there before we send out a big call.
So they kind of.
And what came out after that is Marshall Together and the Community Foundation might be able to help fund some of them through their existing 501c3 status, so.
Marshall Together.
Yeah, Marshall Together and plus or minus Community Foundation, so there's an open opportunity to go present it to Community Foundation and then maybe potentially have some of the.
Yeah, and then Chris isn't here, I was gonna, he's for the monumental artwork and art and historical angle for Superior, there's talk about our own 501c3, so yeah, some opportunities, I guess. Figure out how to do that funding. Can you let me share?
I did. Was it living? And that, I put it right, and just. I'm sorry, I kind of asked them to share just a couple images with you, so you could kind of see what.
And let me share my whole screen instead of just this window, so I can do. So this is the presentation that we went through, and then, this was the punchline was a very simple slide, just reiterating that the proposal is the main thing is the gathering area at the Orland Road trailhead with elements of the pet remembrance and as kind of the cornerstone of this dispersed remembrance. And then, this is the site where the rings are kind of off to your right shoulder here, and the parking lot's up to the left. Same thing, kind of from the parking lot. And so there's a gully right along the fence right here. And so using this trail gets you around the ditch. You don't have to, build any bridges or anything to access that spot.
And that path, is ADA already, so it could be just shoot off and to another direction.
So Cobbs was able to get a drone up for us, and JD, photoshopped in on kind of a notional thing. It's supposed to, the point is to blend, over and over, this is open space. So the point is to blend, to be a place for gathering, serenity, that kind of stuff. So we have no idea what it's gonna look like. We're gonna send it out with our RFQ process artists notionally. But this is the great nature and was that one you liked, JD?
Yeah, that one, just, I think it was really great how much emphasis was put on, the open space and not really, nothing crazy, no big trees, no big sculptures, this would integrate.
And the location is open space, and there's a gut response, which I even had in the meeting when we first kind of proposed it, or when it came up on the survey, it was like, but it's open space, we figured the council was gonna have that same kind of reaction. So we made a big deal about saying, we understand that, and this is a place to, it's not where we're gonna hold the next, Metallica cover band or.
And the hard part is like, you want images to sort of share what your thinking is, but not too many, because you want the artist or the
Right.
landscape architect to come up with.
Stress that this is just notional because it won't look anything like this. We haven't done anything yet. Okay, so that went well. Next steps are, we got approval to do the soil study. So we can figure out how to get that kicked off with the town.
And Leslie thinks that enough has happened in the area that we may already have some or some are coming, so it may be an extent that may not have to happen. So we're gonna be looking on the inside for that, and then, so we probably could start drafting the
Yep.
RFQ.
Yeah, so at the next meeting, well, maybe JD and I will put together a template or something, but the committee will be looking to put together that RFQ and actually solicit some art.
And the more I've thought about this, this is such a different type of project. This is not your typical public art. So I think similar to the Marshall Fire Remembrance Subcommittee, I think it's gonna be partnering of many departments. Since it's gonna probably involve moving earth, and it's a lot different than a public art project. It's more like a major building project.
Landscaping infrastructure.
Yeah.
Very cool. It'll be a town asset.
For sure. And then fundraising probably after the designs
Right.
come in. So we have something to launch off of.
Right, yeah, we'll have some cool looking designs that we can take to whoever and say, give us money so we can build this thing, cool thing. Okay, so that's it for Marshall Fire. Then we had the wall-to-wall superior pairing. And then Susan, I know we hashed this out before the meeting, but give us a debrief on how that went. Sorry, I wasn't able to make it.
It went pretty well. I mean, I was like 3 days into antibiotics at that point. So I was like, not feeling completely sick, but not like great. And then, I learned a lot just from like learning about how they felt about their position in the mural world and like where they feel like where they're at. And, I feel like it was a good first talk, even though maybe it was like, would have been nice to have this a little later, but now we know what to do and what not to do and like where we want to go with the like presentation and ways like that. But overall, I felt like it was pretty awesome.
Good.
You never really know. Like I watched like old videos of like Francis Bacon talking in his studio or like someone and you're like, wow, I'm really glad that footage is there because like this guy's now become someone I'm interested in. And I think that the three of us together was kind of like an iconic mix. Doesn't seem like it when you're in the middle of it. I think like maybe later down the line, it would be like, oh, that guy Birdseed was in Superior.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Well, yeah, when it gets published in the town, we'll have to make sure that when they put it on the YouTube, they put all the proper tags and headlines and things so that the public can find it, right? By that kind of search.
Yeah, like on the YouTube channel or something probably.
It'll go on the town's YouTube channel, yeah, but with the right search terms,
Mhm.
anybody who's looking for a birdseed background, can find it, right?
And we had 16 people there, which was decent. And I think
For the first time, yeah. I think that was
four of them filled out feedback forms and they all enjoyed it. And like, when I was sitting there, the audience was laughing and they were engaged. And the consistent feedback, which I agree with, was that the bleachers, it's too hard for your butt and you need to bring a cushion or put cushions down. So maybe
we need to.
maybe a different orientation, but anyway, we could talk about that. It seemed to be well received and hopefully for the next one, we'll bribe people into coming by getting some free stuff. So,
Yeah, I thought about that before. It was too late to do like a free print because we would have had to market that from the
Right.
beginning. But I also felt like superior pairing was always about pairing it with like maybe another event. Like, so if it's like a workshop with a talk or recently I thought of like the Chili Fest. Last year we talked about, are we going to do anything? We all said no, but maybe that's something where a superior pairing event can happen at the Chili Fest sponsored by CAPS that brings in the art and what we're doing in the community.
what date is that?
It's just an idea that I had about how it's initially supposed to be paired with something, so there is a crowd.
Do you remember we talked about maybe doing some sort of like a demonstration where people could do their own,
Spray
like
paint,
take home,
little
like
canvases.
little, mini wall, like spray paint art? That would be something good outside if you're
Yeah.
doing something like that. It might be fun.
Was
Look windy.
Serendipity there?
Mhm.
The only people that bought drinks were the speakers.
Yeah,
But-
and had we known, that it was fewer than 20, we totally could have turned it and used the nice sofa chairs or whatever, right? But, I think those,
September 3rd is Julie Fest.
I mean, we could have done it in this room, but.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
well, and
I
some,
think it was nice having it in our ones. I think it worked out well, especially for the filming. I know that that was very, not part of the actual event, but having the space to really get good footage was nice.
Who could we ask to buy some of those like stadium seats that people could go like, hang out?
Everyone's probably got some in their garage because they're taking a
For
red.
sure, everyone has them.
yeah,
I think the town should buy some.
That's what I was thinking, yeah,
They
it
should
should
buy
be branded.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Like
little
a-
cushions or
Yeah.
some
something.
buffs, little pads, yeah.
I was also thinking maybe for the next one, that if we could have the speakers and the screen on the stage, that we wouldn't have like all the people. I mean, there were a lot of people that kept walking by during the talk, so I thought a different orientation might work a little better logistically.
Yeah, the only thing that's tough is on the stage, they're really up there.
Okay.
But yeah, we definitely could, I hear you,
Well,
for sure.
halfway through this year, we'll have, space in the
Yeah.
plaza,
Mhm.
which we meant for this,
Yeah, I was wondering if there'll be like a projection screen set up in the new space. You think there-
Not right away, just for budgetary reasons, but we will eventually, but there will be a stage.
And hopefully whoever was hired to do this, like, recording, like, they got a
That's
good,
Nancy, who's on the other end of this.
yeah. Thanks, Nancy. Well, yeah, it was awesome. It seemed like it was a lot of effort, but in getting everything mic'd up, there's like multiple mics on everybody.
yeah, it was on it, right? Wasn't, I think it was on for quite a long time.
Um,
I haven't been able to watch it yet. 'Cause I'm
We ended up not.
okay.
We had to, yeah. It'll go.
Cool, looking forward to seeing it. All right,
Yeah, so I think it really worked out well.
we will build on it.
For sure.
Is the next one going to be held here or?
I think so.
Yes,
April 22nd.
and we have, again, the big space, right? Okay.
Same space, but if you want to turn it and put it onto the stage instead, we could. So we can talk.
That was one of the things I was gonna bug you about, yeah.
And we have, 4 more of those screens, so if we do decide we want more real estate for the displays, we can bring another one over.
And the other thing that would have been, the screens could also be used for, because what I was thinking was if we had a screen, behind the speakers that was just kind of showing a slideshow of, their work or whatever, you wouldn't see the people walking. It would just be this different backdrop. So that's another distinct possibility.
And we went around and around on how many screens we needed, and we were gonna have a scroll and all that stuff, right? But
It was, yeah, well, you ended up being out of town and Chris just bought like a new business and I was just like, it's not gonna make a big,
yeah,
thing for that. But I also think it just gives us time to grow and make them like more, dynamic and things.
great. Thank you, guys. It sounds good.
I have pictures to send you too.
Thanks.
5 people who sign up get a free custom stadium seat.
They have to come to all of the talks.
Yeah.
Collect all.
Get your own design.
Get a little stamp card,
Yes,
attendees.
punch card.
Punch card.
Pairings.
Lunch
punch
or
card.
you get the bed for free.
Yeah, pairings fun. Yes.
All right, so let's go to the upcoming events. The clay workshop is like 2 weeks out. Are we?
Oh, yeah, I'm so ready. I just found out about it yesterday when my husband was looking at the town calendar. Do you have a workshop? I'm like,
I don't have anything.
Yeah. Is it
Is it
too much?
possible?
Because I don't think it's been advertised. It hasn't been.
I don't have it.
well, here was my idea. If we've got the ring. Got the ring? We don't have anything.
I don't have any, I don't have a description. I don't have it.
Well, then why don't I just invite people? Like, just come, make these things. We've got this whole box of glazes. The good news is there's no cost unless I have to get more
But
clay.
is this another bead one?
Yeah, because we have enough to make one
Okay. So, yeah.
from last year.
I know I have stuff from last year, but, and dates, but like, I don't have any image, I don't, you know, I need you to
Yeah.
send me stuff. Unless I'm just recycling, am I recycling old information?
It's the same.
Are they getting a free thing stuff, like, you know what I mean, I just need to know your details.
Okay, my question my question is, when we did this before, the 2 times, people that did show up said, what are these, where are they gonna be and what are we gonna do with them? And I didn't exactly know, so do we have a plan?
I mean, they go along the artery, right? But as a group, we need to figure out what that means, you know,
But
like.
does that mean 1, 2, 3 dotted through
Or
town? Does that
group.
mean a group with,
Yeah, and I think we don't understand how big the product is, right? I mean, how many are there ultimately? How many?
well, ultimately, there's one right
Right.
now that's pretty short. That, like, I had brought one to the first, that I made to the first workshop. It was a little bit shorter than me. And they can be as tall as you want, but I would say keep it under 5 feet, 5 feet. 3 of them, 3 is always a good number. That makes a, you know,
And my
Well,
mind
statement.
was just some grassy area in Rock Creek, so we've been concentrating on downtown, so along the trail near Circle Park or something, we just.
yeah, and how to install them, if we were gonna dig a post hole and put cement in it, so that they can't be tipped over, or glue some of them together so they are too tall to take the parts off, that kind of thing. I mean,
So I think it'd be good if we, I know you're working on the calendar, Susan, but if I could get that, just because, it'd be good just to see upcoming, and then just as a reminder, you know, we need information 4 to 6 weeks out to comms. And I know this one's been a tough one to fill in the past.
oh, but it got filled, just they didn't show up.
Yeah. Oh,
It got filled and it had a wait list, and
And then.
then the wait list didn't get called, and no, then only
Yeah, so.
I
it'd
did
be good
have,
to have a conversation around this, I mean, do you wanna keep that date?
we don't have to,
Or we
I'm not married to
push it
that.
out a little bit, so we have some time to think
We
through.
can push it out.
Can't even get a room. If there's no room yet. When you know.
Yeah.
That's the same day as a Touch It electric truck. From 11 to 1.
What?
Touch a truck.
Touch a truck. They touch the new electric, touch the new electric trash truck.
Okay, that's.
I heard they're growing birds in the
We bring our own bird feed.
Crowd genius superior berries.
I don't think that's, unless you did a invitational only kind of a thing.
Well, the senior craft club had expressed an interest in doing a project
See
to
who else
work on
works.
that, and they're all residents of Superior, but we can push it.
Do you want me to get with you tomorrow and look at look at calendars? 'Cause
Sure.
if it's not a very big group, you wouldn't need Long's Peak.
Mhm.
You wouldn't need a big room.
Yeah, well, you need, there's a lot of materials though. There's a lot of tables, like
So you
rollouts. Well, yeah, like a rolling pin table, a table to hold all the pans.
And what
and
time
fans
were
and
you
stuff.
thinking of doing it? I don't have a calendar, so I know we were drafting it, but I don't have it.
We can just, I mean, you can put it into September. You can put it after the summer if you want.
Whatever you want.
I just think that we should follow through on it because we've got all those materials invested,
Mhm.
you know, and glazes and stuff. That would be really cool. Or I could just keep making beads and. And play
And then
for
it-
myself.
And then it
That's the
becomes a Sherry Smith piece. I mean, that's another option.
I totally would be willing to do that if you wanted to do that as a donation, because it might work better.
It would definitely look better, obviously, you have the artist's eye and you kind of
Yeah.
would know exactly what you'd want to do in a spot, and it would be done faster and you'd be
Yeah.
honoring the people that did it, the workshop ahead
Give me a spot.
gives you a spot.
Give me a spot. I would totally donate it. We've got all the stuff. And, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You could still do a clay workshop, maybe something different.
Yeah. The problem with the clay workshop though is that you put it together, it's wet. It has to dry, then it has to be bisqued. Then,
Oh, I'm thinking like
That has
something
to be
totally
glazed.
different, like maybe do a totally different type of clay workshop.
yeah,
Something
I
totally
mean,
different.
when you make the parts and have them, bisqued already, that works, but that's like a lot of parts.
Are you firing these at your house?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that people come and make the bead and then they come home and fire them and then bring them back.
A lot of transporting for you.
well, yeah, I live like 3 minutes away, so that's not a big,
Well, I was impressed. It's a lot of heavy clay.
there is a lot of stuff in my garage that.
So what would you prefer to do? Or what would the group prefer?
Is it tacky to say I'll make 3 and we put them someplace?
I would love that, except it sounds like a lot of work for you, you know, you're a busy person and you've got a lot of other tasks here. If it's something you like to do while you're watching Netflix or something and it's not a big deal, we would be honored to have your piece somewhere.
Okay,
over there.
let's just say I'll do that. And we'll say, find a place by the fall, that gives me the summer to work on it, and it's probably easier. Then I get to give back to the community.
Did you go for workshop before?
I have been to the setups, but I've not participated.
So then the question is, would you, are you interested in teaching a clay workshop of some completely different type later down the road or not?
Probably not, because it would have to be a two-part thing.
Unless it was something like you did with the ornaments where they just paint them.
Yeah, unless you did something like that.
What about, I don't know how it works, but what if you did your workshop as the installation? And we created an event around the day that it was installed.
And the
part of it.
stacking,
Yes.
like
Yeah,
Stacking ceremony.
everybody else could stack them.
Yeah, there was always gonna be a.
It used to be going back afterwards and maybe. But no, that was supposed to be part of the fun of it, like,
Yeah,
here's what you made, now stack them up.
Why can't we have a workshop in like June? Do you think the community would wanna come in if they knew that it was gonna be displayed in the town?
No,
Like, oh, you're gonna make a bead and this, we're gonna put this over by
I
the.
think what's hard is that she's run this 2 or 3 times and people sign up and then they don't show up.
and then the ones that do show up wanted to take it with them, so it's kind of hard with these, donate this time and this artwork, and we're keeping it and you're not. That's how they ended up with,
It's like, you know, we've done things where you
little
paint
flower picks, the last one.
a tile and it goes onto a mural or something, right? Like, it's kind of the equivalent of that, but it's less immediate, I think, is the problem,
I
right?
feel like my daughter would be into it though, like if she knew she was gonna make something and she was gonna be able to like ride a bike next to it, like a few months later.
Some people were. I mean, I think it depends.
When
Just how it's.
I could do a special invite thing, like, I'm having this, contact me if you wanna participate, come to my garage,
So this one we just need an install.
husband moves his car to the next
Right.
street.
I mean, if you're running privately, you could invite your friends over to your house and make these things, right? And not have to schlep everything over to.
Yeah.
Or you could do it here.
Anyway,
But yes, Susan, we've got that on our calendar now to by the fall, find a place for these.
Yep.
So we'll do that, and the artery planning, like that's 6C, and we're not gonna get to it again today, but you know, we need as a group to carefully consider how we want to lay out the future of the artery, so. We will do that in the coming months. Okay, so we're canceling the 15th though. And then Jerry, you will, and JG, if needed, can figure out how to construct the piece, and we'll find a place and a means to install it.
okay,
And Susan, how's the calendar? Is the calendar done?
I can show it, when we get down here,
Okay.
but it's not the visual yet. It's
We're still.
more than an Excel sheet, but you know, What we did last month at the end in a flurry was a big data dump, and so we consolidated all that. Mostly Susan has consolidated all of that. But now we're trying to turn it into the tool thing. It's been a month for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just, so, yeah, I'll mention it down there then, for timing again.
Right, so CII, the next superior pairing upcoming in April. How's that?
All good. So we have a botanical illustration teacher from Denver Botanic Gardens, a really cool floral designer who he actually makes floral arrangements on humans. He's very alternate. It's really cool. They will both have a PowerPoint presentation, and I was going to shamelessly bribe people to attend by offering 2 comp passes to Denver Botanic Gardens to the first 25 people that show up. So hopefully that will.
Do we count? Can I do that?
Yeah, I can, anyone here, whenever you
You're not
need a
eligible.
comp pass, please ask me. You have a connection, it's fine. But yeah, we thought that would, get people in the building, and with it being springtime, flowers seemed like a no-brainer.
Sounds amazing. And Gigi has everything for advertising for that?
I do, and I'm gonna show you a preview of it, and hello.
Oh, I haven't seen this yet.
Is it?
Hey.
It's not, we're still in edit mode, but,
There
it's
we
coming
go.
out soon, so, but there it is.
Nice.
Oral stuff on humans. This presentation is PG.
Yes. Oh, that was what, it's all.
So let me know if you have any edits.
I do.
Okay.
All right,
Perfect, because I haven't.
we don't want to use the word science. And it's botanical design and illustration, so we could take out science.
Where are they signing?
In the title.
Oh,
Yours says art and nature. Art meets nature, is
Yeah.
that what you?
Art
meant
meets
there?
nature is the name of the,
what am I big through science in there? I didn't. Science. Yeah.
yeah, we definitely don't want to use the word science
Okay, I will.
for a number.
Glad I showed this to you.
What are the reasons?
Well, it's art and it's like science, like to me, if somebody
Right.
starts talking about science, my eyes glaze over. I'm sorry, I apologize, science
Right.
people. But I'm like right brain, I'm literature, art, and that's what these are supposed to be. So there is no discussion of science. It's all
Yeah,
art and floral.
you saw the description I gave. them,
Yes,
so I don't
exactly.
really-
Yes.
That's funny. I'm glad you contacted me.
Reading the rest of it.
Put science in quotes.
Strike science from all of the.
Yeah, and the word science is used again in the text, so take out and science.
Okay, I'll get with you separate.
Yeah, we'll fix that. And could we put in there about the comp passes or no?
If you send me the sentence,
Yes,
can you send it by by the morning?
I can send it tonight.
Perfect.
Yes.
I think we should try to get these proof every time. Makes sense,
100%.
right?
What?
That we should try to get these proofed every time before it gets printed by the superior pairings group, just so.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So anything that's been gone out e-blast, I've shared with her, somehow this got altered.
Well, I don't think I got a proof of the.
I'm not
wall.
saying,
I think,
yeah,
so I'm just letting that does that make sense?
for sure. But so basically, and when we get down to, I was gonna talk about it on the calendar part, but anytime anybody's working with me for comms purposes, we go through all of that drafting together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you got skipped for wall somehow, but okay.
Or both of us did. I mean, I feel like that was kind of about
Oh,
the years
no,
of
this is just the draft.
Oh, no, I know. It's the job. I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know if you were in the going eventually to get the proof. I thought that was the draft to be printed.
Well, you had sent me the wall-to-wall stuff, right?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm confused. I thought that you were just sharing with us what was about to just get printed.
It is.
Yeah, it was, right? And Susan caught it, so that's all I'm saying, is that like, I don't know if Susan got a draft and didn't see it the first time.
If we hadn't happened to have pulled it up just now.
Right.
Just now,
Right.
yeah, exactly. The science would have happened, that's all I'm saying. Because the thing with Max and Anthony was fine. Besides that, he got mad at me for not putting senior. And I was like, is your son famous or something?
Can you, pay him again for the payment invoice?
Okay.
All right. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Let's move on to item 5. We've got a bunch of work plan check-ins things, so let's keep with the pairings. So your third entry of pairings in this meeting.
Yes, okay, so I'm meeting with Mimi Kruger from the Boulder Philharmonic on March 11th. We're gonna talk about a music dance pairing for June. Since I don't know a ton about that, I'm gonna rely on Mimi to tell me. I'm sure we're not gonna have the whole orchestra here, but maybe 4 pieces or so. I wanna talk to her about what is possible and then find out if she has suggestions for a dance troupe. I was thinking ballet would be a cool pairing, but again, want to get more information from her about what she thinks would be cool.
Okay, yeah. The Philharmonic is legit. I would be interested to see if you can wrangle that in the budget.
Well, it's the same budget.
Yeah. Okay, great, thank you. All right, geocaching, so Stephanie's not here, but she sent us an email.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll read it though instead of showing it. So it just says, we will be starting with 6 caches. The town has no swag with town logos for them, so we're just going to focus on the swag we can get from the geocaching company. I would like to start geocaching at Coyote Hawk, the circles. Thanks. Gregory Field's piece, one of the decorated bus stops, statue of the couple with kid by pool, and possible RV locations. The location is dependent upon distance from other geocaches as well, so some of those may need to be changed. Please have caps decide other locations as well in case we have to move caches. So I think she's requesting that we discuss her locations. She wants to start with 6. Did you guys order stuff?
I sent her those links that I never heard back from her.
I have a question about these, that Stephanie's not here, but this is something like kids would do.
I think adults do it.
Okay, I was just wondering, like, do we need to worry about like kids crossing the road in the middle to get by
I
somebody?
was gonna veto Coyote Hawk.
Okay,
straight up.
sure.
You can't carry something in the middle of the media.
That's right. But,
Yeah, 100%. And then we have 2 Gregory Fields pieces. I think she probably means the new one. But the,
Oh, the water seer?
no,
The peacock.
The peacock and community park.
The water seer would work too, because it's at a safe location anyway. It's not in the middle of the median or something.
Right. I mean, we couldn't literally bury it at the base of that, but in the, maybe near the stream or something. I'm not exactly sure how these go.
Yeah.
It sounds very cool from her description that this is a thing that people are into, and there's kind of a culture of trading and, give something, take something, and there's a big website that links them and helps you find them and stuff too, so. Let's.
Is this something that private individuals usually do?
Mhm.
So it's not usually a public thing, like, so what if somebody leaves it? Something inappropriate in with them, who's liable? You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
Maybe I should.
Apparently, it's, I don't know how often it happens. She said it's.
Yeah, she makes it sound like it's a culture that is very supportive of itself.
Yeah,
There's an app.
I was just thinking, think of the dark side.
That's right.
I think I'm wrong.
Well, the who did it now.
Well, there may be some truth in being glib, but I mean, everybody's running around with their GPS finding these things, so it may be that if vandalism happens, you actually do know who.
Right, your phone says you were right there.
Right, yeah. And we know what happened between here and here, and you were there.
Well, and.
Or you saw who did it.
I mean, usually, you leave something or take something, if she was interested in, she had asked if the town had any, branded things, pencils, pens, whatever, and I sent her a couple websites for trinket-like things. Cause I think it would be kind of fun to have something kind of art related, but not too pricey, obviously, so any ideas you have would be great. Cause I could help her with that.
A couple of the wood like poker chips or have logos and stuff on. They're kind of cool to collect.
Yeah, anything not like plasticky and destined to go in immediately. Practical wood chips.
I like the
Something
wood
comes to
poker.
mind.
How about like little stickers?
Stickers, I think that's.
I did send her a link for stickers,
Patches.
cause you can put
Yeah.
a whole roll of them and people will just know to tear off what they want. If they've got 3 people, they'll just take 3 stickers. So what would, I would, I don't wanna consume time right now, but I think, could it be a picture of one of the prairie dogs from here up, like a headshot, one of the prairie dogs or
We have all that art. We could put
little
little
snippets,
stickers of,
And that's something Chris is very interested in, kind of, merchandising or celebrating our IP, like you could have a keychain that has the triptych on it or, something
maybe we
like
could
that.
start with stickers. When I was at the airport, I had buttons made of the Mustang, just the head.
yeah,
That's why I mentioned a headshot.
I got buttons too, little.
Yeah. Flare. We need more flare.
So maybe we could start off with stickers. So maybe I'll just look into that, cause that might help Stephanie out.
So we're at 6:50. Want to get through some of this stuff? I think we'll be okay. Let me share real quick and we can, as a group, try to come up with 6 locations.
Can I go fill my water bottle?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Word document, so I just pasted in Stephanie's couple, but I think we're in agreement that Coyote Hawk, that can't be.
No.
Mm-mm. Unless it was along the sidewalk, one of the sidewalks, but.
Yeah. There's that kind of like open space thing on the other side of the hill,
Mhm.
but you wouldn't want, I don't know how these things work, but if the clue has something to do with the sculpture or something, you don't want people crossing over there or hunting for it.
Just in case, yeah.
Same with Silencio. I think by the circles, we mean the rings.
Mhm.
With the mural, did we? I mean, I'm on the mural committee, but I don't remember if there was a contract with any of the images for us to even do like stickers of.
Oh, yeah, we have reproduction, right?
Yeah, reproduction rights. There's a ton of images in there, like birds and.
What
flowers.
about there?
With the mural.
Yeah, kind of the mural, because there's all on both sides, there's the rocks, that could be, they tuck something into those holders or whatever.
One of the best stops is,
Yeah, I don't know which one, but that's,
Is that the one on Rock Creek Parkway
there's several on.
There's several.
Okay.
there's like
by Archery
5 or
Park?
6.
By Archery Park?
That's the,
Yeah,
that's like,
the one all the way at the top of the
the
hill by
outlet.
the one at the top of the hill by the Rock Creek signs in the castle, and that one's decorated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it's like the top 2 and the bottom 2 for Rock Creek Park were the ones that are decorated. There's like 2 that are not in the middle.
Mhm.
So if we're doing the rings, we probably don't want to do the top of the hill, so we go the other direction, the 88, like roundabout, it's that. The one all the way to roundabout is,
That is not, those are not decorated yet. Yeah.
but we have to go all the way to like Safeway.
Or the turnoff for Honey Creek Drive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Archer Park. the two on that intersection are,
Yeah,
are covered.
That's a cool spot.
I like that because it's a by the dog park.
Yeah, dog park and
In a
pickleball,
skate
all
park
that.
and,
Yeah.
yeah, for pickleball, so there's a lot of, foot traffic, I think.
That's also.
And, statue of the couple with the kid by the pool, is that a south pool?
It's
North.
North Pole.
Pool.
The one that
Oh,
gets
just-
to have the
Get the scarf, yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the gardens that Vargas makes amazing.
Yeah.
Like behind the wall or something might be okay, but I don't think, again, I don't want people reading through.
Well, because once it gets really grown in, people would trample those flowers. I'm wondering about the bike, the ones that in Purple Park along Rock Creek. You know, either the bike one or the kids that are tumbling.
Is the bike gonna go back in?
It's in.
It's in.
Recently,
Yeah.
I like that
Back
location.
riding. 30 years she was riding uphill. She had to take a break, but she's back.
Stephanie puts a caveat that there's some kind of like bubble, you know, you gotta try to keep them a certain distance. I'm worried that if we do rings, then girl on bike may be inside that bubble.
Well, I think we should maybe give her 6 and have her, I'm not on the app. And I know that she's more concerned and aware of the other conflicts on the app, so.
Okay, maybe we come up with more than 6, which she can do her. And then possible artery locations, and so the artery, we've hit, so this is Superior Commons, rings,
There's
have fun.
sculptural pieces by South Pool. Bronze.
Like where Indiana meets McAdam, all the way up there.
In that area,
Yeah,
if you want to spread it
that
out.
would be good. Yeah, okay.
I mean, when it goes out, like to advertise this, should we say children under 12 should be with their parents? Something.
People put too close to big roads.
Yeah, I mean, certain kids, definitely.
Yeah.
My kids when they were young.
Well, especially trying to get to the rings, right? I think we'll have a hawk going in later this year.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out when, but that's the plan.
Okay.
But yeah, until that's in, there's really no easy way to get to the rings without,
Yeah, it's a
This whole
big.
process, and I wish you was here to answer questions, this whole process is app controlled, like this, it's geocache.org or something, so you install an app, and there's probably a liability or maybe an age, you know, like can't install this app unless you're over 13 or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know that, but I'm guessing that they control us.
I know that this eagle in the marketplace has, it's in, like, there's a raised garden bed and then it's kind of in there.
That's
that
on
Whole Foods?
Whole Foods property.
Yeah, that's all food.
But this is ours. I don't think it's sneak in there, I'm just saying, shh.
How about a prairie dog? Might take it back.
What is this Purple Park?
That might be the one that
Oh, wait, no, this is,
that might be the
Yeah.
Indiana one.
it is Indiana McCaslin.
Yeah. It's a good spot. Again, I don't know what it means to bury these things. Like, are we really gonna dig a hole in the park's grass?
Is it like a box of stuff, or what is it? We
Yeah,
really
it
did.
is some kind of canister that you stash somehow. I don't know how you anchor them.
I think I had a solar panel. They told us a picture, I think, at one of the last meetings. Really, there's something. Yeah, it's like a box.
I mean, the ones that I've
Hide it
seen, it's like you hide it in like a hollow tree, like a hole in the tree, you know? It's just like you find a place that's a natural hiding spot.
Right.
I don't know that they're just like put out in the open.
Cause someone's gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, someone left their box here.
Right.
Go
It's
return
gonna
it.
be a middle school boy.
And it's got a little bit of grass and, you know,
Yeah.
there's practical considerations.
They're usually like off the ground,
That makes sense.
yeah.
It's a funky project.
This one's funny.
It's cool, but you know, people will come, like, people will actually come, I think. It sounds like there's a culture of this and people will come to find it and they'll trade it and they'll get our stickers and.
But like Wildflower Park, we're gonna end up putting a prairie club there.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's the water seer kind of area. Sorry.
we wanna keep it safe near parks and
Yeah.
not near busy roads. Kind of thing.
Some of
I mean,
them-
we've got so many pieces here at the community center that I think we could do something here.
Someone left $1,000 down by Target on one of these huge geocache hunts.
Wow.
So like they dropped the location and then everybody just swore.
And it was $1,000.
It was $1,000 like jackpot something. It was
And
big.
everyone knew about the jackpot.
Yeah, or like, I mean,
Center too, like-
a bunch of people knew. A lot of teenagers knew.
It's Alvin.
Or the dancing sticks, actually, would be pretty good.
Mhm. Yeah. Cause that's right close to the wall.
Yeah,
And
wall
let's-
and the woods.
if you look, yeah, it's got the grass right behind it.
I like that. We should get more.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we've got a couple of ideas that we can send to Sherry.
Sherry?
Sorry, to Stephanie.
Sherry's like, I don't want to be in charge.
Yeah, one more.
Please, no more,
Okay.
no mas.
I think we made good progress on that one. Okay, so speaking of Sherry, community art exhibition, this thing in the marketplace.
Yeah, that, it's going over like a lead brick too. Oh my goodness, but I got the kit for the rainworks, so, and there's a stencil this big about, of like a big monster footprint. I cannot wait to do this. I'm gonna have to do it in my driveway, I guess, probably, but, pictures follow scenes.
So you're ahead
A
of
good
the
way
game
to
on
do it. Ahead of the game on rainworks, cause I just thought, I know there's gonna be a 60-degree day sometime in February, so. I'm
Oh, you're thinking you're
in
just gonna do it? And,
my driveway,
oh, and you're.
and then just dump the hose on it or
Yeah, yeah.
something, just to see, and then take pictures, and then we're like, okay, now we know. How accurate can it be around the stencil? And it's like a little $20 beginner kit, it's like this big. But maybe it lasts, you know, I don't know how many feet you can get out of it, monster prints, but that'll be a riot,
That's gonna be fun.
that will be fun. $20 a shot, but, there's that. The
Yeah, do you wanna get it and get reimbursed or have me order it?
probably you can get it. I just got the starter kit because I wanted to play with it and
you're-
see.
Oh,
I figured before we order it, let's see.
I was thinking of getting you a
How-
starter kit.
Oh, I got it already, so
Okay.
that, I don't need reimbursed for that. So we'll do that and then send pictures out to everyone, because I hope to do that this weekend.
Okay, great.
The, community art exhibition, this is like a really grand idea, and I was all excited when Brixmor said we could use their parking lot for free, they weren't gonna charge us. And I started looking at tents. I have a 10 by 10. Several of the artists at this famous art gallery down in the marketplace said they have tents. Then the day after our meeting, the property manager sent me an email that said FYI. I'm like, this isn't not
No good
good.
email starts with FYI.
FYI, everyone has to have their own insurance policy, and I'm like, who, define everyone, not like every individual person.
Just the exhibitors, I have to get it for my art fair, so I just.
Yeah, I didn't know like how much that would be, but other people told me like maybe $30 or something each organization, I guess. I think that's like a liability thing. It's not to insure your valuable artwork, I'm pretty sure,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
It's like if your valuable artwork falls on somebody, or your whole tent falls on somebody.
or if someone gets hurt, like even if you got hurt at, like, on their property,
Mhm.
they're not, like, liable.
Oh, yeah, I found that out.
Mine was like $80 for like 3 days.
So
So-
we considered indoor locations as well, or is that,
We could do indoor locations.
Neil, I watched the economic development part of one of your meetings and somebody mentioned that Spirit Marketplace is not as empty as it looks. I mean,
So Marketplace is actually full.
like basically full.
Yeah.
So there may not be any indoor, with Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, that whole back wall is now full, and then the area that was sort of near Target on the sort of on the south side is full.
Improv.
And then that space, over by Whole Foods is now full as well. Like all the small shops kind of just slowly have been starting to go. I mean, it's hard to tell, but the retail space for what they call second generation space is really in high demand. New space like downtown is not in as high demand because it's much more expensive. So everybody wants like the second gen space, and people are going back in the stores again. So brick stores. Okay.
But take something off your plate. Indoor is probably not an option. So parking lot or nothing.
Oh, okay.
We had talked about the new building eventually, like I think we had mentioned it opening up with an art show if we wanted to.
Doing it in
That's
the plaza.
the Civic Center?
Yeah,
But where are you
We're looking
hanging?
at May or June.
On what?
You went.
On what walls are you hanging in the civic space? I thought like what was gonna be available was in the stairwell on the second floor, which is
That's something.
not optimal.
I mean, if you want it when the civic space opens, we would have to start planning now for that.
When is that opening?
Probably in May and but they're opening in June. That's like tomorrow.
Brixmor also does pop-ups.
You had talked about that.
It said in there.
Here's some of the renderings. There's a whole, and you know this better than I do, JG, but like, I mean, is there anything actually planned to go up on this wall right now? Because these are all just, AI generated drawings of what the space is
Right.
gonna look like.
Not that I'm aware of, but that could change.
Right.
You
I mean, I think it's Caps's, sort of first rights to decide what could potentially go up there.
Caps was involved in the murals that went up in this building.
That's correct.
But we're talking about like an
I'm not a
art
fan of that one.
exhibit.
Exhibit versus public art commission, yeah.
but if you did an art exhibit, like I'm doing one right now for South by Southwest, so I think it's like a week. And I'm building a tent and I have to put my big walls and I have to hang my art on my big walls, so you could do something in a warehouse kind of space where you still have tents. The same thing you would do outside, you would just do it inside. So if you had a table with your art on it, like ceramics or bugs or something, you could still do it. It wouldn't be like walls like that, but you could,
If it was big enough.
there's not walls outside
You could
either.
do the turf as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of art we're bringing, but, and then they sell like these, we have like a whole set we're bringing that are like freestanding walls that are temporary. It's like, kind of like farmer's market stuff. It's not like high tech.
The indoors.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're a bit like, you do your same 10 by 10 tent indoors and you still use your temporary walls that you would use at a farmer's market. And you could still do an art show for a weekend or
Are you
something.
buying them or you rent them or what?
Well,
I
people
have
that do
one.
this own them.
I have one
Yeah, people that do this sort of farmer's
They
market
decide
design.
their intent every.
with mesh walls that you can have on the inside and outside, so that would hang a bunch of.
You do like Cherry Creek Art Festival, like people that do stuff like that are very familiar with like setting up and breaking down.
The festivals I've done, they always have a few tents for people who don't have their own tents, so like.
Well, that was the original idea, because it was the community's art, not like artists
Right.
bring a bunch of
People who
work, it was
wouldn't
like,
have their own tents,
yeah, people
like
and
me.
and children or
can
school
borrow
age, that kind of thing.
Remind me who was with you on this?
Me,
Okay,
we worked very hard on this.
well,
Many
it
hours.
sounds big. I mean, sounds big. Can we do this? I mean, were you interested in doing this? And
Sure, we can.
We as in, we as in all of us, is everybody interested?
Yeah, my question is,
It turns into a
if-
big town event, I think, we need to really.
Yeah, but we've got like
Think this through.
$1,000. This is not Palooza.
yeah, well, my one last question would be, is there an opening plan for the new building? If CAPS doesn't do something, what else would the city do?
Can we just get in on the grand opening and have a little caps corner like this? So it's good.
Potentially, yeah.
Got it.
And if the CAPS is not involved, what is it? Is it like just a speaker and drinks and food?
Neil's in charge.
Our event staff would lead that. You know, it'd be ceremonial and,
Okay.
you know,
ribbon cutting.
Getting some kind of.
ribbon cutting-ish kind of stuff, you know, things that we've done in the past.
Is there plein air again this year? No, at all?
Getting some kind of prominent corner of the, of the civic space opening sounds like a good path.
For goodness, let's put it on it.
Yeah, maybe
Just-
Kayla's help.
Just for having art there, again, help me. Like,
Oh, you're asking me?
well,
Is it
No,
the art exhibit?
The,
Exhibition?
the idea was engaging with the community engaging
Yeah,
with their artwork. That was what I had,
so are you wanting to put
But-
things on the wall?
Yeah.
So
That's what
temporary
that-
exhibit.
I mean,
So they're gonna be putting exhibitions.
But so, but between now and then, we need to solicit town artists. I mean, yeah, you're good at this, you're running a business that's doing this, right?
Yeah.
Find,
This would need to, with the planning would need to start happening now.
oh yeah, for the fall.
And then we could maybe you and I could go over and tour the space, measure walls,
That would be
kind of look at what we've got to work with. But let me run it by Leslie. I think she'd be very open to it.
Yeah, I see like
You know,
what
I
size
don't
of
think
space.
there's any plans right now for the walls.
well, we keep cutting the budget, so there's no money for anything.
Yeah.
Thinking, like you said, community members. So.
That was the idea.
Yeah, I mean, there might not be a ton of stuff to hang on walls if it's community members selling their little.
It wasn't selling. It
No,
was
not
just-
selling?
No, the idea wasn't to sell. The idea was like we're celebrating all the talented people,
Oh.
all the talented children. This is art. Yay.
cheap and high organization factor.
Somebody didn't pay attention in the meeting.
Oh, no, I don't want to take care of selling.
And on the snaps photo exhibit and we make it into two parts. I mean, that's an opportunity to change it up a little bit, but it could be, we could make it bigger with a partnership. I mean, I don't know, because the timing of the exhibit going up here would be right about the same exact time the exhibit space would open up. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So there's an art exhibit opening here, but no art exhibit opening there yet. But would that be like in a rotation?
I do an annual photo exhibit
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
And I was just throwing it out there that when it opens here, it aligns with the potential grand opening of civic space. And so I was saying we can maybe piggyback. on that.
And I'm asking, are you gonna be curating shows there
I don't
as
know
well? Okay,
right now because, I don't know.
you don't know, okay,
I've not been given a formal exhibit space.
okay, that's all I'm asking.
A lot of those more formal details haven't been ironed out, so I don't know, but even if I'm not given a formal exhibit space, we could maybe just get in there for kind of grand opening purposes within a community exhibit. I think that might be fun.
Yeah.
How do you choose the pieces?
Well, you guys own that AI stuff too, right? The last one that Chris did,
4 winners.
you
Yeah.
own 4 AI pieces, you have the
We have the
TVs
displays.
sitting in storage.
Yeah.
You have,
Potential for that as well.
And that could be an option too, Sherry, instead of getting juried in artwork, people are delivering it or hanging, it could be just digital.
Or a component of it, yeah, you could have 4 artists on 4 screens, 5 screens.
Or you could have
Photography.
lots and lots of images.
That's not the vision.
That's not my vision.
Okay.
Hey, no.
No, not AI, well, I mean, anything digital, but
Well, it could be, but, most all artists take photos of their artwork and it could just be,
saying photography is not art.
you know.
Didn't say that. I would never say that.
And photos of other art.
At least it's not science.
Photos of the. You know what I mean.
All right, I think we've spent enough time, Barry, Liza, AG, Leslie, coordinate on what this is gonna look like. All right, next up, music events. Susie, you went through rapid fire.
Well, it's fine.
Oh,
No, it's
you have
not.
more to say?
No, I was gonna let you finish introducing this big list and then I was
Yeah,
gonna
you
tell
had-
you all about it.
Okay, I don't know how to go about it. You had the big list. Susan and I both took notes and kind of filled it into our little sketch of a calendar. Do you have more details, more to say, or how do you want to?
Yeah, JG and I met, last week and I gave her 5 flyers and some details about, dates and times. So the drum circle is gonna be Sunday, June 8th and from 9 to 11.
Think you're welcome.
Yeah, sure. She took so much nice notes on them. Yeah, 9 to 11, Sunday, June 8th, I think. Yeah, and then the rain date is the 15th, is June. And we're definitely gonna be outside because Purple Park is a good, down by the water, I thought might be beautiful, as she suggested. I'm gonna borrow some instruments from the schools. I'm gonna encourage people to bring whatever music making that they want, and a chair and a blanket. I have a couple people who are really, haven't done the research about how to do it, but I'm sure I can figure that out. I have a lot of friends who are musicians who can do that part, but we got the date and all of the info, and so I'm really excited. A lot of people have never been to a drum circle, but they know, like, and some people have, and it's very cool. Everybody who has been to one really enjoys it. So I'm hoping to get it, something that maybe happens a couple times over the summer. Second event of the, I think is, Superior's first Battle of the Bands. Sunday, August 31st, from 2 to 5. We're gonna work on doing the backspace with the stage. Caps is going to do the initial 16 band registration with Civic Rec or something or other with the video.
Cape Superior.
Cape
I think
Superior.
we're gonna use, instead of using cafe, because I don't know how many musicians would utilize cafe.
There's a way to get
You want
more,
residents,
yeah.
you want residents,
Yeah.
so I think our residents are used to using Shape Superior.
Yeah.
So we
And that-
use that for submissions.
That way we can create a specialized form and get the equipment information and list ahead of time. And then I want to have every band play Wildflowers by Tom Petty and then whatever song, whatever tune they want to play. And then we'll do a work session and we can choose the 6 finalists that will be communicated with about a week after that. And that'll be like at the beginning of August, we'll do the registration deadline. And then I'm hoping to, haven't done it yet, hoping to ask Mayor Lasis to be a judge. And I don't know how many judges are a lot for Battle of the Bands, so I was thinking 5 to break the tie, but again, details that I can do. We have the space and we have the time in the big room with the stage. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's
Did I understand that there's 2 rounds on different days? Is that, there's a round of 16?
So the round of 16 is the initial registration, like you would register for a class that you have to submit the video.
Oh, a video
for
audition,
a
okay.
video audition, and then we'll do a work session and choose the 6, and then the 31st will be the 6 perform. The top prize is gonna be $300.
Wow.
And then 200 and 100 might be a nice incentive. And it says, get out of the basement and onto the stage. So I'm hoping there'll be a lot of people who have always wanted to do this and decide what the hell, let's try to do it. Cool.
Right. Chief, now we'll have to work on prizes because we can't
Right.
give government money away technically, but
Right.
like for the. Yeah, so
Right.
there may be interims. The AI thing, it was a purchase, not a prize.
The neighborhood sponsorship is looking,
Right.
$300 drive and all that.
Yeah.
One mobile.
That's a magical.
Don't print anything about rewards until we figure out.
I won't, she has this and we'll start, I'll definitely hit, the next deadline for Hello Superior, but I'm also gonna do a booth at the 4th of July. To promote this. I think it would be perfect timing and everybody will be outside and maybe there can be some sort of karaoke or something,
Well,
you know, there.
I'll need to get the Shape Superior page built, so we'll need to continue working on the details for that. And then maybe you could have just a QR code thing, something with a, so they can go right to
Yeah.
it and check it out or
Yeah.
something.
That sounds great. I didn't tell you that I wanted to be there for 4th of July and have a booth for that, but I definitely think that that's a really easy way to promote this
I don't
event.
know if you need a booth or if you can just wander.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you want a booth.
Yeah, you're true. It's true. Might want to do something with
Shit.
instruments.
And we'll need to talk too, because I was thinking about that, I'm saying, 6 bands in 3 hours, are they gonna have to switch out equipment on stage?
So they're gonna get a
Not enough.
20-minute set, 10 minutes on either side.
Okay, so
Or
we're
5
gonna need a
minutes on
staging room.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. We had talked about Long's Peak for that.
So. Okay,
That's cool. I came to the School of Rock did a thing where they let all the kids play and it was super cool. The place it was perhaps the most full I've ever seen this building.
Mhm.
They had the doors open and people were out outside.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Have you been on Halloween?
I have not done the Monster Bash, whatever it's called.
Like the zoo.
I've heard that's.
The team?
No, the daytime Halloween thing.
oh.
Like the costume?
Yeah, the costume parade, it's like for just like kids that are, you know.
Oh, yes, I'm not really. Nice. Okay, the third pair of events, 2 different dates, is the youth music drop-in, the 5th through 8th grade Tricky Rhythm, working on sound, love to play. Come on, get some music attention from some high school students who are earning some volunteer hours. It's short, 2 hours, 3:45 to 5:45, and just a way for kids to get some extra face time if they can't, they're missing something or their trumpet doesn't play or whatever. And I've been in beginning band student classroom and teachers can't do it all. So we can't get to everything. So I'm hoping this is a safe, cool place to just bring an instrument in and
it's here?
see. Yeah, it'll be the Long speaker. Couple 2 different times. So I'm gonna advertise this at the beginning of the year to the schools. And probably come in and introduce myself to the classrooms and things like that and do some FaceTime marketing so that they're interested in coming instead of their parents seeing it and telling them that they should come. So next, also 2 duration events, the oldies sing and strum. It's gonna be 50s and 60s with a songbook. We're gonna have the large screen available and can sing along or play the C tuned instrument, which is like a guitar or baritone, ukulele or ukulele. So that you can play along and watch basically it's a lead chart, lead sheet, but Long's Peak from 10 to 12 on Tuesday, the November 18th, and from December 2nd, from 2 to 4 p.m. I was just interested in 2 different times and seeing what that would look like on a Tuesday.
You said the big screen, you want this one here, or is it just the TVs that are in?
The TVs in there, yeah. Could be all compared, but the significant thing that the people who attend this get is a 100 song songbook of all of this music that they like to play. And they can get it digitally and get it ahead of time. And I think that's the art and project behind that.
Very fun.
Yeah, and the last one is this Taylor Swift karaoke party. I've decided it's going to be at all ages, and that's more of the community than at 21 and over, even though that would be a cool vibe. All ages would be more of the community I want to be part of in Superior. So my son is turning 13 on the 13th, so I'm gonna have to do something other than spending his birthday at this event, but I'll take care of that. I think he'll come, but I might have to, we might have to go on a trip or something.
So are you thinking about changing the date for that?
Not really. I don't think I can. That her like this for this date is, he kind of understands how important that is. So we'll see. I was gonna ask him, but then I was like, no, let's go with it.
This is, did you say, is it karaoke or sing along or?
Yeah, it's
like a big
karaoke.
jam? Karaoke.
Yeah, but it's gonna be sing along. Like, I think I imagine there's gonna be about 15 people singing at people and about 40 people singing back at them. And it's just gonna go back and forth. Right? So.
Okay.
So that's the updates from me. This one is obviously the biggest and the farthest away, but yeah, if I have a change about the date, I'll let you know.
Okay. Susan, you got all that?
I got all that, and I was like, wow, I actually got the dates and the information correct.
So-
Yes.
It's really early in the year, there's nothing on there, but remember I was telling you that there's like traditionally events that fall on
Yes.
every
yes,
Saturday of December.
Yes,
Is it possible to come up with a backup date
yes.
or two?
Can I, yeah,
And we can connect
yeah,
offline. Okay.
It's Taylor Swift's birthday.
I know.
I know.
And it's
But
okay.
is there anything else date-wise significant that could align?
Well, I have her calendar and I think that I could probably find something. She put her cat's birthdays on her calendar, so I'm sure there's gonna be something.
If I could bring a cat, that sings only.
It's in January, but I'll go through December and see if there are other.
I think that would be good.
I have a question
With us.
about the bookings, because you're saying how this stuff is booked for December, but the new space might not be booked.
That's, yeah.
That's a good point.
I haven't reserved the space for this. What we were looking at was the town calendar, because it's common for this space and even like Winterfest downtown. December tends to be very, very, very busy, so that's why I was already concerned about potential conflict.
Do you think you'll be booking both spaces? Like when we want to do something at the new space, will we run through you? Because I'm thinking like our third Superior Pairings, the Philharmonic might make sense if we want to contribute to an opening of some sort. If we pitched it to them that you're going to be helping like us CAPS open a space in our new downtown space, that might be more of an allure to them.
Yeah, I mean,
to
as your
participate.
liaison, I would be booking space there or here.
And or here.
Yeah,
You already have all the dates for the Superior Pairings, right? Okay.
When could we get like a tour of the space so we can
it's
sort
still
of get a
technically
feel
under
for?
construction, so it's only like maximum 2 people, hard hats, you know.
Perhaps, yeah.
So until we can get a little bit past that part, then absolutely, yeah, we would love to
Yeah.
get you all down
It's
there.
hard to picture like what we have to work with.
I can,
Yes,
you know what
yes.
I'll do is I'll send this rendering out to the CAPS distribution so everyone has it.
Just so, yeah.
So it's not just you,
Thank
that's
you.
people on this side that get to look at it.
It looks awesome. And if this place is completely booked, then we have like a whole other building.
Yeah.
But I think partly what we're worried about, Brandon, is not that we can't get let's say we did book it and we could, and we plan to have it, and then Superior says, well, we're doing Winterfest on the 13th down in downtown Superior, and it just eats
Away,
the audience, right? I mean,
that's what I'm more concerned about in
it's not
space.
that we can't reserve it, it's that they're not gonna respect that we were there first necessarily for a big event like that.
Okay.
So we had talked about later in the evening, it's gonna be like 7 to 9:30, and that would help a little bit, so.
Mhm.
And I would imagine people that are maybe are booking here, once that opens, they're gonna be like, oh, can we change to the new space?
Yeah.
The parking is better.
Well, we haven't, and the board hasn't kind of figured out, because, you know, here residents get to book one of these rooms for free. With that one being a larger space, we may have to, you know, kind of figure that out. Maybe you pay for that space just because it's different setup kind of thing.
Is there public parking down there?
There is, it's a little confusing, but there is a whole parking plan and, yeah.
And there's probably a whole set of residents that just wanna walk to it.
Yeah,
And don't wanna drive here.
Yeah.
But the
medical.
the big building in the middle is a parking structure.
Yeah.
And like where Wasan is, like behind it is a huge, like 300 space.
Yeah, inside that's a parking space, and then there's a medical office building after certain hours is open to anybody. The signs are just a work in progress still. And there's like 2 new garages that are getting built in the coming.
All right, thank you, Sue. That's amazing. And keep working with JD on rooms and details and publicity and all that. That's great.
When the calendar does get,
Yes,
it, you know, obviously the pairings will be on there,
Yes.
so that'll be, sorry, I meant to say that in response to.
Okay, mural subcommittee.
Well, in the interest of sort of streamlining the process of maybe doing the next tunnel, GG had suggested and other people that maybe we do the second place piece in the new tunnel going under Rock Creek Parkway. So I reached out to the artists, and they're definitely interested if we want to move forward with that. And then so I reached, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, remember everyone, that was the leaping foxes.
And I just explained to her that we felt that AJ's design was better for that tunnel downtown, going under McCausland, because it was sort of more symbolic of the fire. I felt like the foxes were a little too light for such a heavy kind of transition space, but up near Purple Park, the foxes might actually be really nice and whimsical, because a lot of kids will potentially be going up there. Anyway, so they're definitely interested. So I reached out to Leslie. She said the tunnel construction agreement is hopefully going to be approved on March 10th. And construction is hopefully going to start mid-March and potentially finish mid-August. So I think that could potentially totally work.
Let's ask her about lighting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna actually have that in my notes. Like, should we ask them to?
I think it's
plan
on
that?
her radar, but let's make sure, so I'm
We don't
on
have
that
to do
email.
afterwards.
You
mean-
but it could be part of the bid, is what
Right.
the
And put that in
cost overall,
beforehand
so that
instead of
we're not
after.
scrambling to try to get it in
That's
after.
some buzzing fluorescence that we want.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So I'm on that email, but maybe, I don't know if you wanna chime in or if you want me to,
I have
but I
that in
think
my
it'd be
notes
good.
to touch base tomorrow with her about
And
that.
she's aware of it, I mean, we talked about it a long time ago, but I think just bringing it back to the surface would be good.
And then we would have a couple $1,000s left over. And then maybe Brandon, you had talked about potentially finding some artists that we might not have to go through the call process. Because it
Well,
will,
their only option is like, without running a call process, is if the mural is less than $4,000, $5,000. We had just talked about some of the bathrooms around town and like the building next to the football field, things like that, nothing major. I mean, it's like we sat here one day and talked about, there's only like 3 developments with walls. It's either like Target, Safeway, or downtown Superior. So there's a ton of choices.
I go back to the big one for a second. So we did the whole RFQ process and board approval and stuff. How do we spend $16,000 on a single source or whatever? Do we know how that, are we able to we just ask the board if we can do the runner up, or do we have to compete it again, or what's the?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have a purchasing policy, which it only requires an RFP for something over 25K, if I recall. However, you know, any rule can be waived by the board.
That's nice.
Yeah. The rules are nice.
And it was you guys' idea partially, I think, to save this, so yeah.
Yeah, no,
Go back and say,
I
how about we do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, I think that's a reasonable, just, come to the council with just sort of, hey, a lot of people like the Fox idea and, I don't think you'll get any pushback. Other than, where's the money coming from and that kind of thing.
But maybe just an update to the council. It's just like, hey,
Go to a
this is
meeting.
like what, yeah, I think, and we could work it, if it gets approved and then the work starts, then that would be something that we would request to get on their agenda, just to be like, hey.
So before the construction meeting, you think?
No, because the construction meeting we're gonna adopt it on March 10th, which is
like
literally the
soon,
next.
Yeah.
Okay,
so-
After that, like
So
sometime like
between-
April, May,
April, May, okay.
Yeah. because the construction, would you say, like July is probably when it's gonna get done,
Mhm. So
so,
we wouldn't be till like, it would be, we have time.
Yeah.
But I think just bringing it back to the council with the images and,
So-
just-
If I was to do that, who would get in touch with the board? You would say,
through Leslie. and-
mural committee is
Yeah.
gonna come, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, like I'm guessing our June and July is usually pretty light, and it's a good time to kind of hit it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be just reminding them of the mural, the expense,
You guys really like this one?
yeah, and then it's in the cat, it's been,
It's already in our.
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
planned for in the CAP's budget, and just kind of bring them, everybody back up to speed.
When
Yeah.
did we didn't remember when we ran the RFQ for the last mural? And that, like, we didn't even get into that.
It was fast, right?
It was really fast.
In
But not,
September, October.
that's not normally how we like to, that was.
Well, because if we
faster
wait
than
until
what we
August to
normally-
talk about the Fox mural and they're like, well, why aren't you running another RFQ? We're gonna run into that same sort of,
No, I think the proposal here was like April, May, we get the board's approval, then we tell Hillary and company, be on call.
Yeah.
We can't tell you when this thing's gonna be done, July, August, be ready to paint it.
I'm pretty sure these artists were down, like,
They were flexible.
yeah, they wanna do it. It's a good job for them.
Yeah, and from a painting perspective, I can't remember why we rushed it last year, maybe it was getting cold.
It was getting.
So I think with this one, construction from the roadway is gonna be up to somebody else's schedule, so if it slips in September, October, it's not a big deal.
It's gonna be brand spanking clean concrete too, so it's not gonna need
Well,
as
they're
extensive.
not gonna tear the whole thing down.
Oh, they're not.
No, it's, that wall is probably unchanged, they're really just fixing that,
Still
up,
gonna need cleaning,
Oh, well, okay.
priming, and.
but not new concrete.
No, okay, I didn't know how much they're doing.
Okay,
Cool.
and then, yes, please, I don't think we should discuss the small ones now, but continue to work on where you want them and propose locations and art, I guess, and we'll vote on. We'll have to run that by the board, the council as well. Paint their stuff.
We like paint.
Yeah,
We like paint.
Yeah, we're not saturated in paint yet. Someday people will roll their eyes, not another mural.
We got a long way to go before that.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, might put you on the spot a little bit, because the next up is this foundation 501c3 planning. That was Chris's thing, he's not here, but we did have the March of Fire Remembrance thing, and you mentioned a couple of options. We've also got, I guess, Superior Rising, like maybe on not only mostly dead.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things for the March of Fire Memorial, we at least have a probable path that we can leverage Marching Together. Community Foundation can do that and they can pay for it. And it's a great conduit. For sort of sustainable Superior, there's a couple of options. One is we're looking at sort of repurposing Superior Rising, which is a possibility. The other option is to create a new nonprofit. It's about up to 90-day review on the IRS if you go the easy path. The issue is right now the IRS has no people, so there's a whole big question mark as far as how fast anything will get approved. My commitment, what I'll do is before the next meeting, I'll figure out one of two paths. Either we just start new or we just repurpose Superior Rising because we already paid all the fees on Superior Rising and it's already approved, so I'd rather go down that path. Alternatively, we create a new sort of group of people who want to help run this quote-unquote foundation that can be used for CAPS and historical commission. If we go down the easy path, it's limited to $50K per year, which shouldn't be an issue. I think that's plenty. I don't anticipate us getting more than 50K in donations in a given year.
Right, unless we're doing more fire through.
Correct, which is unlikely because Marshall Together has funded a lot of things like the art piece in Louisville was funded through Marshall Together. When we do the gift bags for all the new homes in Superior, that's all paid for by Marshall Together and it's all funded by Community Foundation. So they have kind of figured that all out. I'm actually not worried about the Marshall Fire Memorial. I think there's paths, there's money out there for a sustainable go forward basis with Superior caps and historical commission. I want to create something that we can use long term and is not subject to another organization that may get dissolved. Right, like Marshall Together is going to be around 5 years from now. So let's figure something out for Superior long term.
Well, Superior Rising has a mission statement and a board, right? So we have to sort of morph those.
Yeah, that's John's one of the co-leads. And there's like 5 other board members. We've just not actually sat down and talked amongst ourselves for like 6 or 9 months.
Right. And we'd have to like change the mission.
Oh, yeah. And then we have to basically repurpose the organization, identify a new board, file that with the state, and then it's a whole new charter.
Right. Okay.
All right. But that can all be done very quickly if we get that rolling. And if that looks like it's going to stall by mid-March, I'm just going to start facilitating moving forward on a different, legal entity and move that forward. So I think it's a cool name.
Yeah. All right.
The Superior Foundation.
I have Superior in there. So yeah. All right. Thank you, Neil. All right. Well, we made it to this discussion section. I wasn't even sure. All right. So the first thing on the discussion is these artwork labels. I committed to coming up with the top 10, which I want to discuss. So let me see if I can share this. All right. How do you zoom here? All right, so again, this project is what we talked about earlier, the QR codes, but it's a plaque. It says, Zephyr and Triptych by artist name installed in this date, maybe a brief sentence about commemorates this or means this or whatever with the QR code, where they can go to the website, see more information. Who knows? We put up Chris's 3D fly arounds and all that stuff, right? So that's what we're after is labeling the artwork. And I picked 10 and I kind of want this to be a priority list because I think we're just going to go down it. And I'm not sure if I even expect that we'll make it to 10. So kind of as a group, how do you rank what we want to label? I just hacked this and so I've got this is the roundabout. And this is actually a tricky one because where you have to put that.
Maybe there's a map like that coincides with the numbers.
Yeah, totally. We need to get a interactive map. Yeah, 100%.
Because it's not ranked by like any real.
You mean this ranking?
Yeah, like it's not like this is one of our favorites or the most expensive. It's just.
I mean, that is kind of what I did with my favorites. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
What is Superior mural? Is that the one that's like down?
This is the
by
neon.
highway?
This is the neon right here. On the other side of the neon Superior.
Oh,
And then here, there, a Superior Place. Neil, you already mentioned that. I'm not sure that one that's the one on the back wall.
Yeah.
That's, okay, it's just run down these. So yeah, the triptych's actually tricky. I envisioned we'd probably put this over near the downtown Superior sign because that's pretty accessible. The rings, Watcher and Sear, we just installed Superior Commons. Vita Nova, this is Ryder's Farm that we just put in. The mural and AJ Davis put in a bunch of, he's got his own QR code and his name and stuff on it, but that's a big one. So
Yeah.
the Art Wings is now in Founders Park, and some sticks are right there. Silencio, that I debated that because this is one of our leases and it's also in the median, so that would be a tricky placement. That's why it's near the bottom. Maybe we just run out of time for it. Spirit mural is inside. So, I don't know how we feel about whether we're labeling like Regenerado and murals that are inside and stuff. And then the sunflower. So again, we're into the bottom of the list. Not a lot of foot traffic over there by Mexican family restaurant and stuff with the sunflower stuff, but they're super cool. I love them. I'm having a little information.
We've moved them, I think, a couple of times now.
Have we?
Yeah, they,
Where were they originally?
I should take that back. We moved the mine carts. Yeah, we moved the mine carts. Yeah, there were talks. Yeah, we never actually moved it. And it's actually, no one has ever liked that location of it.
Really for the sunflowers?
Yeah,
Would be
Oh, I
cool
love
if
the
there was a-
just because the pedestrian, it's really
Yeah,
hard to,
keep getting at it.
yeah.
I love that they're growing out of retention.
Yes,
Yeah.
that, and if you know when and where to look, you
Right.
can see them from the highway.
Yeah.
Love that.
I wanna get at them though.
You can.
I
And
do.
they need resurfacing too. We've talked about
Yeah.
that for a year.
Powder coating.
Yeah, which is what we did with the mine carts, because those got moved over next to Panera. I forgot where they used to be.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever seeing them before they were.
Yeah, they were, I took a check where they were
Do
before.
you think they're visible there?
Everything at Brixmore, it's like a flyby, right? It's
Yeah.
always been, because everyone's rushing to get to,
I
you know,
know.
Crumble, or they're rushing to get to Costco. And it's always been odd because Brixmore's got like a weird relationship with us, like the umbrella fountain is ours. But we have to go through them to turn the water on and off,
Right.
like the vent,
But
like
we
the,
couldn't move it.
Right.
Can't move it. So the minor, the fountain, the bears, all those bronze
Yeah.
pieces in there, the horses, we can't move,
Right.
but they're ours.
yeah,
Right?
and they're actually really kind of neat.
Was that a developer agreement? kind
It
of
may,
like-
but it would have been late nineties, so, yeah, late nineties, yeah, so a million years ago.
You know, I had a question about when the developer comes in and they have to contribute something to the community, and a lot of times it's art, right? Like the Vida Nova, what it's called? Like, is there something that says they have to put their art near their property? Or
No.
can they potentially put it somewhere where actually more of the public would see it?
It's totally up to the board. In the past, we've kind of said, hey, why don't you contribute some art? And they're like, if I get my project approved, we'll
Right.
contribute up to this. No one's really suggested that it could go somewhere else. I mean, there's only been 2 or 3 recent developments that we've actually asked them to contribute towards art, and naturally we thought it would just go in that development, but no one's asked that question. It's a good one.
Because they all contributed to like the ARTery,
Yeah.
like in a collective.
I mean, the triptych was kind of that, I mean, it was part of the downtown development, so it
Yeah.
ended up being a sort of central
I think
location.
ideally they'd like to keep it within the community that they're building.
Yeah.
But that said, it did have to do some deep diving into the original agreement with Rogers Farm because we had a couple hiccups
Mm,
with the HOA and there was potential that we were not gonna be able to place the art there.
yeah,
And there's a little clause in there that says if for some reason it doesn't work on developer site, that it can go elsewhere.
yeah.
But like I said, most of the developers would like it to be within the community that they're constructing.
Because I feel like they're putting their ugly developments in the middle of our pretty open space. And therefore they should be contributing some art where the rest of us can enjoy it.
So some of the neighboring communities have, it's essentially a tax, and so it doesn't have anything to do with, making their installation pretty. It's just you owe us 5 cents per square foot if you're putting in residential, or we have $200 per unit. I forget, Lafayette has a schedule just up on their website that you can see what they charge, and it just goes into a bucket for their committee.
Oh, for their funding.
Neil, so the
And then
board
we
works with the
want-
developer to choose the art?
No, we sort of get the developer to commit to a certain amount, a certain dollar amount, and then, in the past for the one at Rogers Farm, I think we just kind of punted it to staff to where our caps to figure it.
Right.
Because that one never came back to the board, so it was just, we wanted to make sure that they spent a certain amount.
That was before I was here.
There's a new hotel approved, right? Not where Element.
Correct,
But
it's
the
their
next
second
part of
pad, yeah, and actually, the renderings on that have some art on the side of it, and there's a TBD in terms of how that's gonna get picked.
But my question was gonna be, are they gonna clear the Element lot more or fill in?
No, it's build ready with the, it's, the pool's there.
We've asked them about the Buffalo. And they said, yeah, we'll sell it to you for 20K or whatever, I mean, it's just sitting there, and I guess we can enjoy it, but it might be nice if we could pick it up and move it somewhere interesting.
The owner of the Element it's an interesting group. They, I've met with them a couple times. They're not the easiest guys to, anyway, long of it, they're upside down on insurance for the rebuild. So they've been trying to sell the lot since the fire. I think it cost them 20 million to build it, the insurance is 20. It's gonna cost 30 to rebuild it. And it's got some of the highest property taxes in the area, like the lot next to it's got lower property taxes, which, you know, they didn't know. So they've been trying to offload the site. I don't think they want to rebuild it. It's a question of, you know, somebody else. And I think they're trying to monetize as much as, like, they're trying to get us to rezone it to something else to make it easier to sell. So.
So they're trying to sell it with the buffalo?
Possibly.
They want as much money as they can get.
Yeah, I think that's it,
I
exactly.
wonder if there's like squatters' rights eventually or something, if we.
I mean, if it disappeared one night, I don't think anyone's gonna. I've got a forklift, you know.
Exactly, we have your phone and you were there at that time.
But what, if there's a year, there's money in the budgets.
Well, there's gonna be a protest at the Tesla dealership on Saturday, so, you know, if the Buffalo gets moved during that.
You sound out of.
They could drop it on a bicycle.
You're being recorded here. Okay, I mean, this list isn't perfect, but does anybody wanna move anything, I guess in particular, does you wanna move anything closer to the top or away from the top? Because we'll probably do them loosely in order, and we'll probably won't finish this year, this might be, we get to 10, I'll be real happy.
I would put McCaslin Rural higher. I think having labels with things that are still kind of in people's minds as something that is recent, will help solidify.
Right, so all three of these are new, would
Yeah.
you put all of them above the legacy ones?
Never mind.
Well, Vita Nova is very kind of hidden in there.
What is?
Vita Nova.
It's tucked away, yeah.
It's, I don't know, that's why I kind of wish they would put their stuff out, so people could see it, like, I wouldn't know it was there if I didn't know it was there. Yeah. I've never driven there ever for any reason.
And this is for approval for like production signs?
So this was, phase one is like, let's just pick the pieces we're gonna do. Phase two that JG and I are gonna work on in the next month or two is, what are these signs actually gonna look like?
Okay,
How are we gonna place them?
and then the
In
website,
part, potential partnership with Historic Commission.
and so the URL goes attached to the Historical Commission's website?
Yeah, but
We have an
again, we
arts and
wanna,
history site.
Yeah,
It would be
okay.
called.
So it would just link you to that.
and we wanna use a dynamic QR code or a
Is the
URL
point,
shortener, so we can change that if we.
is the point to just like have people go direct to their website, or like see the website, or is there already information on a plaque that talks about the work?
Yes, I think there's a little information, you know, you would put name, artist, install date, maybe a sentence.
But currently, there's nothing. So
Correct.
this would help identify artists.
And then could
Yeah.
this be shared? I mean, then that would be a way for people to be like, oh, I need to go down there and check it out,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's the map, I mean, I
the
think,
map,
I
right.
think that the art and historical website ought to have an
That-
interactive
that
map,
makes
you know,
sense.
all, I think you just showed, she was scrolling through all the pieces, and if you could, mouse over a
Yeah.
map with pins and they all pop up.
Yeah,
and-
and the hard part, and I have talked about maps, not to jump in too much, but, ADA compliant maps is what we're,
Online,
is what we're trying to work on, so, yeah.
And so I was just gonna, so my friends make them from my deals or from your projects I've done, and so if you're ordering 10 or ordering 5, it's like sometimes it could be like almost the same price.
all right, can you shoot me, I don't know, at least a picture of what those look like, or?
Yeah, it's probably, yeah, yeah. They're the same guys that make like the signs on the back of yachts. So they just have all the machines that like, board all that.
We haven't decided whether, you know, this is like cast in bronze, or if you put a stone or a piece of angle iron or something that you can change a vinyl print that you could update, or, you know, we have no idea what they look like, so we'll
But
leave
it
that back
would
to
be
you
good
guys.
to throw into the mix,
Yeah, definitely, choose what those look like.
Yeah.
Okay, in the interest of just touching on the calendar, and just a reminder that that is a collaboration with the historical commission as well, so we'll, there's other interested parties in keeping kind of a similar format. The calendar, I mean, so we have discussed all of our updates and stuff. I'm not sure we need to truly do calendar, but I will just share what Susan put together.
Thank you, Susan.
Oh, you're welcome. We had many, many notes.
Yep, so this is just, capturing all of this stuff, and it's not, the way it is now, it's kind of not in date order, so it's a little bit hard to scan and stuff, but we're just capturing all the music events, the various projects we have going on, ongoing things, murals, events with all the pairings. So Susan did a great job capturing all the data, and now we'll try to put it in something like the timeline I did last year so that we can scan it visually and keep ourselves on task.
Do you mean Gantt charts?
6:4. I am leaving it in Susan's capable hands. I'm not going to backseat drive how she.
Excel has the capability for all kinds of good visual representation, so I'm just gonna blast out a couple and see which one looks the best.
Best for us visual people.
Can I have you add? I just got the information for April 7th is the deadline for the summer Hello Superior content.
Thank you.
For 6/24.
So that covers July, August, and September. So July, August, September events. The deadline is April 7th
But we won't,
to
we
me.
could do the new building or not,
Right, it's hard to plan
Right.
4 months ahead.
Yeah. and not know if we have the new building or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Exactly.
We don't know, but we're gonna print it.
But here's the thing, and that's a really great point, Brandon. We always start off with the initial content and we always get a couple rounds of edits. So like, when we
Yes.
just saw the science,
Yes.
that tomorrow's my very last day of all dates to get edits in. So it's been a long time. So we'll get it in initially and maybe by the time we're rounding out on edits, we'll be closer to. But, and we can always reserve here and then reserve over, change it out. So, and then just update it on an edit round, if that makes sense. What's going on?
Sandy.
Oh, that's fine.
Those for you.
Yeah, there's reflection from the screen, so I couldn't fully see.
Thank you for bringing it.
I just think it's a good angle.
Yeah.
Go from other things to say that we're having.
But if you could add that,
Brand
could you
new
add that
approach.
on there? What Kenny's,
Yeah, this is not
Okay.
in the latest,
yeah,
we're just waiting next one.
so I guess, putting that on there, I think last year on our calendar, I think Suze, you had incorporated just the information, the 6 to 8 week
The comms demo.
pre, getting stuff to me just for any event, it doesn't matter. And then kind of a different column for hello deadlines. Yep, thank you.
We're at the very end. Does anybody have any last comments? I'm gonna just cross the artery thing. We will continue to bring that up.
Okay, so as far as, if I could just say on another, for the council committee dinner, I'm just, obviously, I'll email our leadership first and then we'll iron it out and then get it out to everybody else. And if we end up with multiple date options, we'll get with you, but if it's just a one, like this was, then I'll work with Susan and.
Okay. And then I will make the motion that we adjourn the February CAPS meeting at 7:57 p.m.
A second.
We adjourn. That will.
That's good.
Recording stopped.
Good.
And I will check with.